when Cash Money and Rough Riders were real popular, no one was really checking for me, man. So, but it was what it was. I learned a lot. A lot of females from high school that I thought were fine back in the day are now big and pregnant and have 4 kids. So, you know, So Outcast said, "What happened to French Nick? What's that? Oh, Freak Nick. You talking about Freak Nick? Yeah, man. Freak Nick, man, player, you missing some spelling, player. Check it on the phone. But Freak Nick, man, Freak Nick, I don't know, because when I got to Atlanta, first of all, I was only 15 or 16, and Freak Nick was dying out around that time. So, oh, it's okay, player, I got you. Um, Freaknik was dying out. So by the time I kind of was old enough to do something about it, Freaknik was gone, man. But that's when, but Lenox Mall, at least back then, the whole Phipps Plaza, Lenox Mall, Buckhead area, it was still a good area and it's still a good spot. I remember being in the mall, like in the same weekend, I would see like TLC. I saw Beyonce in the mall. I had a conversation with Hits from the Street when people cared about who he was. Who else did I? My boy and I saw Usher. He was running away from like a pack of teenagers. You know what I mean? That was before Usher was. I mean, Usher was cracking in Atlanta though. He wasn't really cracking nationwide back in like '98, but he was popular down there. I saw a lot of people. Ludacris was just a DJ, so he'd be around everywhere. Ludacris wasn't. He was just Chris Lover Lover from Hot 90. From was it Hot 97 down there? 90, 94.5, 97 point. It was 97.5 back in the day. And V103. I know V103 is still there. I know 97.5 ain't there anymore. And yeah, Clark Atlanta, man, y'all got me reminiscing, man. So but yeah, man. But let me see. I'm gonna close out the show. Before I do though, again, if you got a business, all right, and if you like some of this, I'm gonna show like a quick little clip again. But yeah, if you have a business, right, and you want like a fly attractive lady to hold up your product, if you want her to hold up your brand or do whatever, what you do is you go to flynessmodels.com, right? Here's the website. Uh-oh, it logged me out. But what you do, fellas, is you go to flynessmodels.com. And when you go to that website, let's see, here you go, flynessmodels.com. And when you go to that website, you go to the contact us form. If you have a brand or a logo or a hat or whatever, you can get fly females holding up your product. You know what I mean? They're going to look good. They're going to be holding up your product. So instead of my book, instead of my hat, this could be your brand right here. All right, and this isn't no bootleg stuff. This is actual stuff where they're holding up your stuff. It's not going to be photoshopped in or anything, but your stuff will be crispy. All right, and again, this is my website. This is where you can get all of my books. It's flynesspublishing.com. You can download my ebooks right from going onto that site. So if you guys want to check out any of the material in these books, you can either get the paperback from that site, or you can go ahead and download the ebooks. And these books are jam-packed with game. A lot of ladies have been buying these books because they want to know what I'm telling the dudes, which is cool. But this ladies guide is just, it's on point. And it's good for guys too, because you'll be able to qualify women a little bit better, because it kind of flips your brain around things, and you can actually see, what it takes for these females in the game. You know what I mean? To meet dudes and to do their thing. So, so Crystal says, distance wise, how much is too much for it to be worth it for a guy to be serious about a girl? All right, distance wise. In the ladies guide, Crystal, as you remember, I have a section in the ladies guide in terms of certain guys you should go for, which ones you shouldn't. In terms of distance, you shouldn't travel. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule. It depends on your abilities, right? So you're in Windsor, Ontario. Damn, you're in Canada. I didn't know that. If you're trying to holler at a guy, let's say he's in California, it may not be worth it unless you're working with Paris Hilton money. unless you travel out there on business. If you have no other reason to be out in California and you don't really have a lot of money like that, you should leave him alone. Whereas if you had a job that constantly put you in different places and you can kind of choose your own destiny, or if you're a flight attendant, that could be different. Then you could actually justify meeting someone from somewhere else. But the internet, and what I talk about in these books, the internet traps a lot of people because people are like, you can't meet people off the internet because um, because they're too far away. You don't know who you're dealing with. You'll never meet them. My books, after chapter 2, in each of my books, you're already meeting that person who's in your area. So take all that out of your system. So yeah, so whatever is reasonable, if I would say if he lives outside of a 20-25 mile radius, it may be unreasonable unless you're really willing to close the gap, because otherwise it may not be worth it. I have another question for Facebook. What's the best way to start the interaction? I have fine chicks adding me. I just go old school. Well, player, I'm glad you asked, because I have the Facebook Datebook for Men available at facebookdatebook.com, facebookdatebook.com, or you can get it at FLYstream.com. Either way, but the best way, basically, man, without giving away too much in the book, the best way you get at females is to just message them. You don't want to just sit around having poking wars. You don't want to just add them. You don't want to just wait for them to add you and wait for them to make the first move. You have to do your thing. You have to go ahead and get it cracking on your own. That book, I'm telling you, this book is packed full of game. If you want guides for other websites, you get this one, because this one is more of an all-out, plenty of fish, this book. MySpace, this book. All that stuff, this book. Even if you're doing Match.com, I don't even endorse Match.com because you got to pay for it. You shouldn't have to pay. But this book is still getting it in. This book is still outselling all of my other books like 3-1. Period. Like, people still buying this, even females. But this book, my friend, is like, this is your specialist book. This is like if you're a doctor, this is your general practitioner book. This is your specific Facebook date book. Facebook, you're expert at Facebook, macking, meeting women, and all that other stuff. And again, your whole goal is to get them off Facebook into person. That's what these books do. Whether you want a wifey, or whether you want a one-night stand, or anything in between, that's up to you. Same thing with the ladies' guide. You can either go for Mr. Right or Mr. Right Now. You know, it's up to you. You see, she's trying to decide. The world is at your fingertips. You know, what I used to do when I first started out, I had a Black Planet page. I had 2 accounts. One account was for if I was open to a relationship, and the other account was for if I was just trying to, you know what I'm saying? So you can use those for whatever. And Crystal says, you know, I'm willing to do the drive. I'm talking about going to Michigan. I don't know how far. Now, how far is Michigan from Windsor? You're talking about going to Michigan, so there's a border involved, and I think maybe I should stop. I'm not going to be taken serious. Crystal, what you got to realize, though, now, if you're going a distance, if a guy's trying to see you, depending on the manner, and we might have to set up a consultation or something, but depending on the manner at which he's trying to get you out there, that could just be a booty call. Now, if you're open for a booty call, then that's cool. I'm not trying to mess up his game. I mean, he might be trying to get that. I mean, if you're willing to do that, then it's all good. But just make sure that, you know, yeah, make sure, you want to make sure it's a two-way street. Make sure that you guys have the same thing in mind. Maybe it's just the area or the type of guys I come across. Detroit. Oh, you're trying to go to Detroit. Now, Crystal, I think Crystal's a white lady. Now, I think Crystal, now, if you try to get a brother in Detroit or anybody in Detroit, you might have to be a little, just a little cautious. I had a business dealing with a cat from Detroit, and I'm actually suing him right now. So, just personally speaking, I'm personally adverse to Detroit anybody, because I'm dealing with this cat, and every time I hear Detroit, I'm thinking about getting my money straight. So I'm actually undergoing a business type lawsuit with this cat who who was on some grimy stuff. So, you know, yeah, Outcast, tailor your game with multiple accounts. I mean, that's a good approach, right? If you're willing to do multiple pages, you don't have to, but it could make it a little bit easier in terms of dealing with females. If you're kind of like, for me personally, like I'm kind of out of the player stage for the most part, but whatever. I'll still have two accounts just so females know exactly where I'm coming from. On one account, I could just be like, look, I'm just trying to get it. On another account, I could just be like, I'm open to a relationship, whatever. So, I appreciate that, Outcast. You know. So yeah, Don Willie, you don't have to pay for Plenty of Fish. You said Plenty of Fish you have to pay for. You don't have to pay for that site, man. That site is free. Free. I see you getting out Keenan as well, man. But yeah, Plenty of Fish is free, man. Plenty of Fish, you log in, you do with the new Plenty of Fish, they do matches for you. I like Plenty of Fish because it's free, it's real. A lot of people are on that site, and again, dudes and ladies, you got one book, so you can't go wrong. But dudes, this book is for Plenty of Fish as well. You know what I mean? This book is the real deal. All right. Plenty of Fish, you trying to get your stuff off or whatever, it's what's cracking, all right? And by the way, shout out, I don't know if anybody is tuning in from out of the country. I had in July, because I get the middle of the following month, I get my royalties from the past month, and I also get like reports on how you. Oh wow, I got another phone call. Hold on. I'm streaming. Hello. Yeah, I'm streaming. Let me get off the Ustream. I'll call you right back. All right. So yeah, so listen. One of the things that you do is that at the end of the following calendar month, or in the middle of the following calendar month, you get the previous sales report. And in my sales report, I found out that the whole month of July, I got more sales, more international sales than any other month. So if anybody's listening from another country, I appreciate you, Canada included. Most of my sales came from England and Australia, though. I don't know what it was. It was like a spurt of sales. It was a lot of sales that came out of Australia and England. So to everybody out there in England, I really appreciate y'all. I mean, I ate well, you know what I mean, after I got my little check. So that was cool, man. So, Don Willie, I see something on there about upgrading for $70 a year. I wouldn't worry about that, man. I've never upgraded on Plenty of Fish, and I have 2 active accounts up on that piece. So it's what's cracking, y'all. So anyway, y'all, I gotta get out. I got phone calls to make. I have a young lady to hit up in a few. So I'll holler at y'all the next FLYstream. I think I might do this twice a month. Also, another announcement for those of you who are left. Text message. For those of you who are left, let me see if there's anything I need to announce. Okay. She's telling me to get off the Ustream. By the way, y'all, for those of you who are left, the Flycast. This is the FLYstream. There's going to be a Flycast. It's going to be a podcast, but it will be a Flycast. It's going to be the way it's going to be done for y'all. It's very, very different. So check it out. I'm out of here. So